with today's music. I'm finding myself doing the same thing. Like, okay, I can get behind this. Again, particular ones. There's some that I can't do. And I want to go back and touch on Eric's comment about Pac since nobody else did. Okay,
we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. so this rudimentary thing. This is what I have to say about that. If Pac is rudimentary, then everybody in the rap game is rudimentary.
Welcome to the Parallel Legacies podcast. I am one of just four dudes, man. I got my man Doc Brown. Got my dude Mitch.
What's going on?
Got my man S. Dot. So, fellas, man, y'all know, I try to get right to it, man, but I just want to segue just a little bit, man, concerning our physical health, man. So y'all know yesterday, I did the sleep study to see if I got sleep apnea, and the dude basically told me that I could potentially die when I'm sleeping, man. Like it was a real humbling experience, man. I know we probably got to do a show on this, but I mean, y'all been telling me for years, man, like, E, you need to go take care of yourself. You need to go do this. You need to go do that. And me being stubborn and hard-headed, man, it's just, I will say that it was a very, very, very humbling experience, man, because, I'm just like, yo, whatever, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm tough. I'm a man. But having to do, watching me while I sleep and then him basically reporting back, man, it's like one of those scared straight things, man. So I appreciate you brothers, man, for always having my best interests at heart, man. But we probably got to do a full show, concerning health and how in our community we generally don't take this stuff seriously, man. But we got to take it seriously, man. But again, man, I really appreciate you brothers, man, for always looking out for me, man, and having my best interests at heart, man. I just wanted to say that to you guys, man. So, with that being said, man, today's show, we're gonna be talking about the music of today, man, and I think we all got some interesting perspectives on the state of music, man. So, what's y'all thoughts on the music of the day, man? I'm listening.
Well, take this on this one. Go ahead, Doc. You got it, bro.
Well, I'll say, as most people probably already know, we do some little bit of pre-production before we do this. And prior to even us talking about it, I've had a change of perspective in a few different ways. So I've been on a music pilgrimage here lately. Like I've been listening to all kinds of different music. I'll say probably in the last month. And I was the get off my lawn dude. I don't like none of the new music. It's irritating. But I think I've gained some different perspective after listening to that and actually really comparing and really listening to it for the art of it. So as we get into this, y'all probably gonna hear me say a couple times that particular artists maybe are more artistic or more are better to listen to than it was in the past for me. Especially I've had a real problem with new hip hop and rap. It really like almost irritated me to listen to some of the new stuff, but I actually just randomly played some for over the last month, and I'm like, okay, I could probably listen to this, so I'm getting a different perspective. So, but we're gonna talk about all that.
Right. Man, I gotta say, man, like, I mean, as y'all know, I'm a for real DJ, man, and a lot of the music I didn't really care for until, again, like you said, Doc, taking that musical pyramid. I can't even get the word out. The musical
I
pilgrimage,
couldn't either.
man. Like, I think even though they trying to cancel him, I think the baby is dope. I think Lil Baby is dope. Like, I ran across this clip of J. Cole rapping Lil Baby's verse and hearing it come from J. Cole. It was like, yo, that's dope. And then to hear at the end of it, he was like, man, I'm messing Lil Baby's verse up. I was like, yo, that's Lil Baby. So it caused me to really pay attention to these cats, man. And bro, like you were saying, Doc, with our pre-production meeting, man, like, y'all know, man, Tupac is to me like the GOAT, and it's more than just his rap. It's also his influence. But a lot of Pac's lyrics was rudimentary, man, and it just kind of is what it is.
I'm about to argue with you.
Yeah, I know you are.
I can't take that one, but
I know, Doc. But some of his lyrics are rudimentary, man. But the influence of Pac is what to me makes him the GOAT. But we real quick to dismiss a lot of the new rap, but now we got to go back and listen to it, man. I think my biggest problem more so lies in the newer quote unquote R&B, but I'm gonna say that a little bit later for the discussion, man. What y'all got, man?
I think S. Don to say something, man. I can see it.
Oh, I said Pac is the GOAT, and his you can see the steam coming off the top of his head.
Well, I was trying to wait to go last, man, but I'll hop in there. So, of course, best stockbroker in New York, born and raised, man. You know what I'm saying? So of course, Big to me is number one, but you can't get it to. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to Pac and Biggie. Biggie was a storyteller, man. Pac was like a revolutionary. And you can't compare the styles. They weren't. It's like comparing apples and oranges, man. It's just not. It's not going to do it. Is Pac in my top 5? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You compare the two, so I'll leave that there. But we touched a little bit, having a discussion, when we talk amongst ourselves, man, prior to us, recording. And I like Doc had a different perspective. Before I was just like, nope, if it was put out, man, recently, man, I can't listen to it. They're all garbage, man. Just go ahead and put it in the pile and burn it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even listen to the radio. I'm like, these kids just need to stop, man. You know what I'm saying? With their crayon rap or whatever it's called, man. I don't even understand half the crap they say. But I think something that came out of the conversation that we had, previous to this recording was it's speaking relevance to what is going on today. Like our children, this is their generation. They understand what these artists are saying. You know what I'm saying, and it's relevant to them today. A lot of discussion was about the whole TikTok stuff. If you the man that's gonna generate a dance or whatever and fly on TikTok or whatever social media platform, man, then that's cool and that's what they go for. And that definitely changed my perspective on it. Like, look, man, I'm not gonna understand this crap or even think that it's cool, man, because it's not my generation. You know what I'm saying? Can I be a little bit more open to it? Yeah, of course. Will I? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Because I am who I am. But it definitely holds true that it speaks to the generational, tie-in, man. But with that in, man, Mitch ain't go yet, man. So I'm gonna throw this one over to Mitch.
Well, I appreciate that. The thing that I think I value the most is when you guys said that you kind of change your tone about how you see today's generation of music. And that's cool, man, because I think that every generation there's going to be a change in the culture. There's going to be a change in the way that people do things. And for us, we kind of get stuck in our ways because we feel like our generation cannot be touched. When you had rappers like Biggie and Pac and Nas and Jay-Z, those dudes, when you talk about those dudes, they're still relevant today, and two of them aren't even alive right now. That's how influential our generation really was. And it's kind of hard to compare what's going on today with what we had back then. But on the same token, you kind of have to give them a chance. You kind of have to give them an opportunity to see if it's something that you can listen to, it's something that you can like. To me, I feel like I'm the type of person that can listen to any type of music. You can get in my car and I'll be playing Queen one day and I'll be playing Nas the next. But that's just me. I'm just a music guy. I love music. And I feel like I'm open to listen to anything. Now, when we talk about lyrical wise, when we talk about what they're actually talking about, I will say the generation of today don't have a whole lot to talk about. And the reason why I say that is because the majority, and I said this yesterday during our pre-production meeting, the majority of the lyrics you hear today are recycled from our generation of music anyway. So they're just picking up on that, and they haven't really, lived the things they're really talking about. But again, it's a generational thing. Our generation was, drugs and BMF. That's what we learned. That's what we grew up on. These kids ain't growing up on the same thing that we are. They're social media. They're TikTok people. Exactly what Lane said. They make music for likes on social media. They make music for likes on TikTok. That's what's getting them their money. No one's running to the record store to buy CDs and tapes and stuff like we did. No one's doing that anymore. So you have to conform with the times, and I feel like that's exactly what they're doing. That's why I can get behind the joy of the music.
Okay, I get that. I would say this. First of all, I think all music, good music, is going to transcend time. If it's good music, I don't care when it's made, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. When you turn that music on, even today, you're still like, man, that was a cut back then. Like you still can feel that music, and that's one of the things that I was kind of getting in tune with when I was going back about a month ago, and I was like, oh man, I ain't heard this song in forever. And then I started listening to it. I was like, man, that's kind of whack. Like, but I liked it back then. But and now I'm kind of like, I don't like that so much. And even with today's music, I'm finding myself doing the same thing. Like, okay, I can get behind this. Again, particular ones. There's some that I can't do. And I want to go back and touch on Eric's comment about since nobody else did. Okay, so
we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. So this rudimentary thing. This is what I have to say about that. If Pac is rudimentary, then everybody in the rap game is rudimentary, and this is why I say that. The way that rap music was created, it's created that they make a verse or a bar that rhymes with the next bar, right? So no matter what I say, the next thing is kind of got to rhyme with it in some instance. So to make music, you're not really looking necessarily. Okay, so lyrics are important, but what I'm getting at is if I said the word can, then I have to use a word that is somewhat that rhymes and flows with what I'm saying in my lyric. So think about how we listen to Eric and Rock. Like, Rakim's got to be what we thought was the greatest lyricist in creation. But I went back and listened to Paid in Full, and I was like, golly, man, this dude is rhyming out of a Dr. Seuss book. Like, I mean, his words were very
Hey, watch
simple.
your mouth, bro. Watch your mouth.
The words,
Watch your mouth.
So Doc, let's take a Tupac lyric, right?
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna take a Tupac lyric that we all know, right? And then I'm gonna say it. All right, this is from Changes, right? He says, "I see no changes. Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself?"
Mhm.
So just take that first bar right there. To you, that's not rudimentary. To you,
No,
it's not.
and again, this is the reason why I'm saying that. Is because when you use the word rudimentary, you're talking and you're saying that he had an elementary or either low level
Mhm.
vocabulary,
We
or
get
that he, but it wasn't that. That was part of his art. So what he talked about, really, I mean, it had some deep meaning to it. Whether or not it was two things that rhymed or was easy to put together. I mean, again, I go back to Eric B. and Rakim. Thinking of a master plan ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand.
Very rudimentary.
Uh-oh, that's not hot right now. What?
Again, watch your mouth.
Okay. Now. So you heard what Tupac said right on the opening verse. Now let's take somebody like J. Cole that everybody knows.
Wait. Before you do that, take another Pac lyric.
Okay.
From Brenda's Got a Baby.
Yeah.
I hear Brenda's got a baby, but Brenda's barely got a brain. I mean,
Right.
if you really think about that, how is that rudimentary? It was a very simple statement,
I
but
think I don't mean to just jump in there, but to back you up on that, Doc, I think we're getting wrapped around the action on the word rudimentary. I think what we're trying to say is based off of lyrics, there are some that are more complex than others, and there are some that need to be dumbed down to be able to deliver that message. I.e., what Mitch just read off. She barely had a brain. It was like, okay, yes, you had to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Was it something that just rhymed? Yeah, it did. So I think if we remove rudimentary, you know what I'm saying? I think actually I take that back. I give you a perfect example of rudimentary. Versace.
Bro, that right there, that's right. That's beyond rudimentary. That right there is nothing more than a bunch of to me, you can't even, those dudes right there on a different level.
Yeah, but right, yo. So
to me, that but it's not lyrics though. To me, they're just a bunch of talk.
I'm gonna flip right in before you jump in there, Eric. Let me
Go ahead.
Off my chest, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of what it is that we were just sitting down discussing, man, was nostalgia, right? When we sit down, you think of Paid in Full, man. That joint come up, man. We all gonna look at each other. I'm saying because we remember, you know what I'm saying? Our parents remember, you know what I'm saying? Brenda Got a Baby. Come on, man. We gonna look around at everybody that was born yesterday and be like, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? They won't understand. So when we talk about nostalgia, but on the flip end of that, man, you know what I'm saying? What is happening today? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is anybody gonna remember? No new friends. Get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, are our children gonna remember this? And the bottom line is yes, they are, because that's gonna be nostalgic to them when they're our age.
So here's where I'll jump in and start talking about why I say Pac's early lyrics were rudimentary, right? The thing is that later in his career, Pac really started to expand on his double and triple entendres. And the song that I'll use in this example is Me and My Girlfriend, right? On the surface, right? If you first listen to the song, on the surface, he's talking about a chick. But now, when you listen to the song and you start breaking down the song and you start peeling apart the pieces of the song, she's talking about a gun, right? So That's kind of what I mean by rudimentary, is that the way that things were said and done with rappers, like having one meaning toward that lyric, or one meaning toward that bar, or whatever else it is, you know what I mean? But
before you go any further, I agree with what you're saying, but I think, to me, when you say rudimentary, I think it's something that if someone says it, I don't have to think about what he said, because it was so low rate, or it was so dumbed down to there's no thought behind it. I knew exactly what you said when you said it. I don't have to rewind it to be like, hey, what did he just say? Because I already know. You know what I mean? There was nothing else behind it. So that's what I'm saying about Tupac. When he rapped, you knew exactly what he was saying. I didn't have to put any thought into it. I didn't have to really think about, like, hey, let me rewind it back to make sure I understood what he said, because you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, this is what you said. I mean, but before, about Brenda's Got a Baby, when they came out, it's like, okay, everybody knew what it was about. It wasn't nothing I had to think about. It wasn't nothing about anything else. It was just straight to the point, straightforward, a lyric. And that's what I mean when I said rudimentary. I'm not saying Pac is probably my favorite rapper of all time. If you go minus a couple other people, I got a Tupac shirt right now. That's why I wore it for the show. The guy's amazing. I'm not taking nothing away from him. All I'm saying is, when he rapped, I didn't have to think about what he was saying. To me, I feel that's very, very, very elementary. Very, what we're talking about. Now, if you take other rappers and, you hear a verse that they say, you got to rewind it back and like, dang, what did that mean? You know what I mean? You'd be like, you go back and listen to it, like, now I get it. Because you have to actually go in and think about some of the stuff that they say. Nas is one of them, for an example. I mean, Nas is a dude you have to go back and be like, hey, what is he really talking about in this verse? Pac was one of those dudes where you didn't have to even think about it. You knew what it was when he spoke about it.
So for me,
that's my understanding of rudimentary, elementary. Not taking anything away from what you're saying, Doc, but that's my definition of it.
But for me, like, Pac spoke to, like, is one line that he did an interview on, and he say, I live a thug life, baby. I'm hopeless. You know what I'm saying? He say to the people that don't live that life, they'll hear that line and they'll just like what he said. But the people that see death around the corner to hit another Pac song, they understand and where he's coming from, and that's what Pac was for me, man. Like, I mean, I know we kind of harping on Tupac, but like, that dude for me, just his influence in the game, man. But on the flip side, during the same time frame, I look at, I can't think of the name of the song. I know S. Dot gonna murder me for this once I say the two artists that's in the song that were battling on the song, Big and Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? You know what song I'm talking about. And these cats is battling each other on the song with double and triple entendres, and that's what I mean by the difference between Tupac and the things that he did during that time frame, and then some of his other contemporaries like Jay-Z, Nas, Big, and then these cats is on their own songs battling against each other. You know what I mean? And you got to kind of peel through it to understand what they're saying and what's going on to one another. But that's not to take anything away from Tupac, man. Like I say, to me, he the GOAT. Like, because rapping wise, he may not have been the best rapper, but influence, I don't think there ever was a rapper with more influence than Tupac.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay, so let me sidebar all this, because everybody seems to have had some different definition of what rudimentary is. I mean, what Mitch said is a different perspective than what I was thinking. When I hear rudimentary, I'm thinking of something sort of in a negative state, to where you say that this person does not, it's not very intelligent speak, versus, what Sharod said, and he went and, talked about singling in on the word rudimentary. Now, again, I kind of still feel as if none of these people are really, or none of these rappers or artists are rudimentary. Now, do some of them make rudimentary music? I would say yes. that is definitely a key with that, because their art sometimes forces them to use certain words, or even if I would go any further, lexicon type speak. When whatever's the hot thing, that's what I have to use to get people to listen to my music. So yes, I'm going to use certain language. It may not reflect what my intelligence is, but I have to use this language so the masses, the audience, will buy my music. So anyway,
I don't disagree with that, Doc.
You want to know what I thought was funny about that thing, man? Because I was really thinking about this, man, the other day as I was riding back, man, to the crib listening to Dial's Effects, and I'm like, man, I'm like, wow, I knew it was corny back then, man, but for some reason that beat hit hard, bro, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like, head for the hills, you know what I'm saying? It was just one of those. It was one of those things. It was like, what are they talking about with a daffodil? You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, cool, you know what I'm saying? And then just to turn around and hear these young brothers and sisters doing the same thing, man. It's like, it's like it's a cycle, man. So we may not. It's like it's accepted on our end, right, for what we grew up with because it spoke to us. But now we the old heads, you know what I'm saying, sitting on, you're standing on the porch, man, looking down like, yo, man, y'all need to get your weight up. You know what I'm saying? I think it's kind of comical now that we're actually dedicating a show to talk about it, you know what I mean?
Sharod, you brought up a good point though, man, when you was talking about Dial's Effects and stuff like that. That music, I think we love it so much because it takes us back to when we enjoyed music. It took a when you hear a song that you used to listen to a lot when you was growing up, it just takes you back to a place that made you happy, right? Like you can put a song on right now and you can think about where you were the day that song came out or what you was doing with your friends back in high school. I think that's why those songs are so important to us. That's why we feel like, man, this generation sucks because their music, is not it. But in our reality, it really is, because when they get older and they hear whatever generational song, it's going to put them in the same space that Dial's Effects or Jay-Z or Outkast or, those people put us in that space when we hear it right now. We can go right now to any club in the world, and if you hear these words, everybody's running up. Cash Money Records taking over for the 99 and the 2000.
Right?
What's going to happen? Because what they do is it's taking us back to a place where we enjoyed our stuff during that time frame. Will there ever be a song in this generation that will ever match that? Probably not. You know what I mean? They got their own thing, but the thing I think that, we can, I don't want to harp on Tupac and anything like that. I believe we kind of got that point across. I want to, kind of move forward about, this whole generational thing. I just feel like because we are older, the songs that we hear just put us in a different headspace. I can go to the gym right now and I can play, I don't know. I think I was listening. I don't know if y'all even know the guy. I was listening to Keith Murray the other day. Keith Murray's song came on, and I'm like, yo, this Keith Murray song was dope. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this is crazy. But like, I haven't heard it in a while, but it's like, man, when I heard it, I was like, bro, how did I forget about the most beautifulest thing in this world? I was like, bro, that song was hot. You know what I mean? That. You know what I'm saying? Like that put me in a space like, dang, bro, that put me in a space where I remember what I was doing back in that time. I feel like that's why we kind of tune out the newer generation of music, because it just doesn't put us in the same place as we were when we hear those old songs.
Man, I think we done beat rap to death, man. So we gotta I want to kind of transition a little bit to R&B, right? And
that's because you're sensitive, bro. You like singing.
Here we go. Don't get mad because the kid got some vocals on him, man. Don't be mad.
Hey, bro, I raised my hand. I'm sensitive as hell. I love R&B.
Man, I think back because like my favorite group all time is the Isley Brothers, right? But my favorite group from our generation is Dru Hill, right? But I think of songs like Voyage to Atlantis and Between the Sheets and and Don't Say Goodnight, you know what I mean, by the Ozzy Brothers. And then when we come up a little bit more recent, and we talking, Drew Hill, Beauty, and How Deep Is Your Love for Me, and In My Bed, and then like even with Drew Hill's contemporaries like Jagged Edge, and other groups like that, 112, not to omit anybody. I just feel like it's a different way to talk to a woman, man. Like a lot of these cats nowadays, bro. Like I legit heard a song where the dude in the song, I won't say the artist, but the artist in the song, essentially he said, B, I want to F you. And I'm like, bro, like we can't be a little more smooth than that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't say nothing smooth. Like I want to, take you to that special place in your life, and you know what I'm saying? And give you, and give you my love, and watch your love come down, and just like we know what it means, but like where did it like because a dude that I actually like, an artist that I actually like, and not to cut you off, Estot, I hear you. A dude that I actually like God, what is that dude name? Trey Songz, right? Trey Songz is gets raunchy like that too, but he also had songs where he wasn't so raunchy. It's like, yo, like when did it just become fashionable to talk to a woman like that? Like that's kind of how I feel about it, man.
It's simple, man. I mean, let's take this back a couple of recordings ago, man. When we were talking about simps versus pimps and all this other stuff. It's like, if you a woman talking about like nowadays talking about I'm gonna give you the moon, the stars, you know what I'm saying? What? Get out of my face. But if you tell her what you want to do with that thing, you know what I'm saying? You're going to go for a response. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a cultural change. Nobody cares about the metaphors, man, that ultimately leads into lovemaking and spending time and sharing space and all other things, man. What they want is what they want now. You know what I'm saying? It's disrespectful, but it's also what's relevant to them now.
Every generation can speak to that, though, man, because the generations before the '90s R&B thought that the '90s R&B was way too raunchy. The 70s got the same thing from the people of the 60s. So I completely get what you're saying, but do I think that, and this is probably a whole nother conversation, but has our moral compass changed to that degree? Yes. And I think that is probably the biggest issue, is that more and more our moral compass is getting smaller and smaller. So the singers are getting more and more raunchy to the point where I don't even know if you can call it raunchy anymore. It's there. Like practically, it's where it is now. So
yeah, I mean, I
agree with you, Doc, man. You got to understand the times we live in. We live in times where twerking is the most popular dance
exactly
in the world, right? People are on social media, man, buck naked, bouncing their butts, bro. Like this is where it is. So if you walk up to a girl and say, "Let me put my love," she gonna be like, "Bro, you corny. Yo, back up." You know what I mean? Like they want to hear what they want to hear. We're in a completely different generation now where talking like that is acceptable. It's the norm. It's what's going to happen.
And Mitch, you hit the nail on the head, fam.
Go ahead.
I said, go ahead, finish. But you hit the nail on the head, and I'll explain why.
Oh, I was just going to say, you were talking about, Drew Hill and all these other people. I will say this. There will never be another R&B phase like the R&B phase of the 90s. I don't care who you bring up in today's era. It will never match, and it will never, ever, ever match. Right now, if you go right now and look at Apple Music and you type in baby making music or whatever for a playlist, every 90s song is going to pop up. It ain't going to be nothing from today because there ain't really no R&B artists out there today that's going to match the level of things that happened back then. So, I mean, it's just one of those things, man. R&B, it's going to be what it is. It's going to be there for a long time. Give me a popular R&B artist right now. Yep, I'll wait.
I mean, Trey Songz is pretty popular. What's that name? Jacquees, he's pretty popular.
Though, you got to understand, Trey Songz is 36 years old. Trey Songz is technically in our generation almost.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't really go back and say Trey Songz is, no, Trey Songz isn't. Trey Songz started, early in the 2000s. He continued doing what he's doing right now. He ain't changed nothing. So, I mean, you really can't say Trey Songz. I'm talking about someone new that's came out that's a popular R&B dude.
I would,
yeah, bro, I still can't. He all right. You know what I mean? But he ain't nah.
So the reason why I say that you hit the nail on the head with that one, man, is I had a conversation with a couple people I know. I won't call her out, but basically, what you just said is exactly what she said. She was like, "Yo, I don't want to hear all that. I want to hear, that raunchy, I want to do blah 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 with this. You know what I'm saying?" She was like, "Yo, never mind for all that, other stuff. This is what I want to hear." And she's in her late 20s, and I just had to sit there and I'm just like, well, wow, man, where'd the time go, man? Like I feel, and in that moment is where I felt like my parents when they were talking about my music when I was coming up.
Yep. Different times, man. Different times. Everything right now is pretty straightforward, man. That's the way it is. So that's the era that we live in.
Man, that's
the area where our kids are right now.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this the other day. And I believe if things like Yo MTV Raps and the Basement and all that stuff was still around when people were making videos, the videos of today would be so crazy. Like back in the day. What was it called when we had the videos that showed up late time at night?
Oh, After Dark on BET. Uncut. BET Uncut.
we had to watch Uncut after midnight. You know what I mean? But like right now,
yeah.
If they would make videos right now, bro, it would be, I feel like it would be crazy because all you got to do right now is look at someone's regular social media post. Like, so if they can do that on social media platform, just imagine if they're doing a video set. I mean, when Tip Drill came out, I was like, bro, you see this? You know what I mean? But like now, porn.
It was.
Right?
The uncut version of Tip Drill was crazy. I was like, oh my God, am I supposed to be watching this? I ain't gonna turn it off.
Right. But right now it's a common out. It's a common thing.
Yeah, because like City Girls and Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, like, yo, them videos that they making, bro, I'm like, I feel uncomfortable watching some of them videos, like, bro, like.
But those are the role models of society for females now.
Yeah.
That's why you see the social media the way that it is. Those are their role models.
Man, it's just, I don't want to call it sad, man, but I mean, they're just levying what we already know, man. Sex is always going to sell.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is sad, Sharod.
But to know that this is an image, right? And I'm gonna get a little deep here, but all these women, right? These female artists, man, that are out there half naked, talking in their almost their own language, right? With all the ad libs that accompany every other word, and how they influence, you know what I'm saying, a woman today, or these young girls, man, act and carry themselves in that same demeanor, man, to get the same respect. Ultimately, you know what I'm saying, they're welcoming disrespect, you know what I'm saying, or trying to bring in, the things that they may not know right now that they really don't want, based off of somebody's make-believe whatever, so you can go ahead and buy their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right, Doc. It is sad, man. It's sad.
Man,
I think going back into, just as far as where music is, man, when you look at it, from our perspective in our generation, we were always like, this music doesn't influence me. I'm listening to Cube or whatever the case may be. Oh, I love it, but they're not going to make me go out and shoot somebody. But then you really think about it, and it may not influence you to do that, but somebody your age in your generation was influenced by that. Somebody was. And same with this generation now. I mean, the city girls, I'm sorry, I can't stand them. I don't think they have any merit as far as music is concerned. But they do have influence. You see the girls now, they act just like them. So, I mean, we definitely have it's an issue. It's a big issue as far as where music is and where is it going? Where do they go from there? How much worse is it going to get, or how much better, if you will?
But I think, after listening to everybody's points and everything, I know because it was a reflection of our society when we were coming up. So music is going to continue to be a reflection of our society, and then they're going to continue to dictate the societal norms through music, right? So with that being said, when people out walking around with nothing on in society, then the music is going to reflect that. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. We're going to be them old dudes shaking our fists at kids. Get off my lawn! Shaking our fists and whatnot.
What comes first, Eric? the chicken or the egg, man? I mean, is it the music or is it society? Which one?
Well, I had
what? So
I could jump off the deep end with that analogy, but the chicken came first in my opinion. But so I would say that society changes first, and then the music follows society. So let's look at NWA, for instance, right? Prior to NWA, we have to look at Public Enemy, right? How 911 is a joke, et cetera, and the songs that they were portraying, right? But then as law enforcement became more militarized, right? Especially in places like New York, Chicago, LA, Houston, you know what I mean? When as the police force were given more freedoms in how they're policing certain groups of people, the words toward police started to change. And then you look at NWA, F the police, right? Because you think you can do you think you can do me any kind of way because I'm black or brown. You know what I'm saying? So I think that as society changes, the music changes along with society. That's what I think.
I don't disagree, but I think there's a two-way door there, man, because a lot of music wasn't able to come out and those issues were occurring.
Right.
They couldn't put music out to say what was going on in their culture or society. So NWA for years maybe wasn't able to say that, or those types of that type of music wasn't able to come out. I mean, going back into how we got to where we are, 2 Live Crew, they had a fit when these dudes started putting this music out, man.
Bro, I remember those days when 2 Live Crew was, man, my mom used to try to shield me from the videos and stuff, but I used to sneak watch the videos.
Man, we used to go to the record store just to look at the covers, man. Like, oh, man, they got girls on them covers, man.
But you got it. You have to pay homage to what Luke and the rest of them brothers did. You know, because when you talk about freedom of speech, man, they are the ones that took it to the government. Like, it's unprotected, constitutionally protected right to say whatever I want, and they won, which is why we have city girls now, or you have an entire generation now, right? Our kids knowing what WAP means, you know what I'm saying? Thinking that is cool, you know what I mean? So, bro, yeah. Yo, it's like we're the bastard kids of the 60s and 70s, right?
Right.
You know, that's where we came from. Where we listened to Minnie, you know, we knew what she was talking about, or didn't know what she was talking about.
It was just a nice song.
Oh yeah, come inside my love. You know what I'm saying? But where did that morph to? That morphed to, Little Kim and Foxy Brown, El Nanas, and all this other crap, bro. It's like all we're doing, man, is just keeping the cycle going. But what we're doing is removing that layer of morality. Each time, each generation, we just pull a little bit more off to the point where, man, we about to just be butt naked out here swinging in the streets. You know what I'm saying? just listening to beats, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
I think you just answered Doc's question right there. Which one, rap is going to continue to move forward as long as society allows it to. As long as we say, yep, it's okay. It's going to go as far as they're going to push the limits. I mean, it's already there. I mean, they're pushing the limits as far as you can possibly take it. But it's just going to get worse because of what Sharod just said, because of my freedom of speech. I can say what I want. I can do what I want, and you can't stop me. As social media keeps it going, the radio keeps it going, people like us that has podcasts and radio like the Breakfast Club and all those people that bring those people on as guests that continue to allow them to transcend and use their music as their platform is never going to stop.
So I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I'm gonna ask y'all a question, right? And this is going to kind of call back to our previous podcast concerning cancel culture. What do you think the state of music would be had cancel culture had been as prevalent in the 90s and early 2000s?
I don't think there would be hip hop, period. Because and the reason why I say that is because if you go back to what you're talking about, our voices was not being heard the way that they are today.
Right.
So just think how many times they took it to Congress to try to remove our music. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We didn't have a leg to stand on. We didn't have any voice. We didn't have anything. And they were able to take that, or they tried to take that stuff away from us. So if it existed back then, I think where we currently stand as hip hop and R&B, I don't think it would be relevant. I think it would be probably banned, probably.
So with that said, well, Doc, my bad, Doc. I ain't let you get to answer that question. What do you think, Doc?
Well, I'm kind of with Mitch on that. But I think there was a level of cancel culture back then, but it just wasn't as strong. But I will say this: I mean, we're talking, of course, about what probably is most important to us. But if we look at even some of the more white music, especially some of the harder rock type, man, they have lyrics that are questionable back then.
Even country, because there's a song that I play all the time on bass in front of everybody called Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. We know exactly what that means, but because it's being sang with a country twang, nobody really cares. But I'm gonna flip it once more, and then we got to get out of here, fellas, because we've been on here for a little bit. So, do you think that cancel culture would have as much steam as it does had it not been for our pioneers in hip hop, i.e. Luke and the 2 Live Crew fighting for their First Amendment rights? Because I think that cancel culture is basically the stepchild of music back then, but by us not having a voice. And now that people have a voice, they're exercising their First Amendment rights to fight other people, even though we may not necessarily agree with how things are going with cancel culture.
I think cancel culture is kin to social media, and it wouldn't exist if we didn't have social media. I
agree 100%.
I agree to an extent. I think it's coupled with media it doesn't necessarily need to be social or otherwise.
Okay.
I think
I
it's
can
just
go with that.
tied to media.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sweet,
go with that.
sweet.
Yeah.
That's dope. But fellas, we've been on here for a little bit, man. And again, I appreciate your guys' time. So hopefully we are ready this time. So Doc.
And he ain't gonna forget. He gonna remember. Look at him. He's shaking his head already.
You might as well just say it for him, bro. You know he's not gonna know.
Exactly. I'm glad y'all know me.
Goodness. Oh my God. That's not, man. What you got for the people, man?
Hey, like I say, y'all can reach me on all social media platforms. Sharod.Lane, Real Temple, man. Appreciate y'all coming out. Keep us showing support.
For sure. Mitch, what you got for the people, man?
Hey, just real quick for the people, man. We love talking about the things that are passionate to us. If you guys have anything that you would like for us to talk about, or you want to get our perspective on it or anything like that, post it in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you guys want to put it at, and we'll put something together and we'll come up with it. Because, between the four of us, that's what we love to do, man. We love to talk. We love to communicate. We love to see what each other's perspectives are on certain things. And also, if you want to be a guest on the show, please let us know with that as well. But you can catch me on Instagram at Special Agent P.
Sweet. And don't forget, Century 21, right? Out in the panhandle of Florida.
Me, yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I'm gonna look out for you. And for Doc,
Yes,
you can
sir.
reach him at Doc.Brown11 on Instagram. Why am I giving your Instagram handles, man? You're supposed to be doing this yourself.
Hey, man, write your Instagram handle in the palm of your hand, man, so you'll know it from here on out, bro.
But you gotta do it. You gotta read it like this. Just like that.
Facts.
Yo, and that's for me. I am DJ_YM4 on IG. Also, I'm one half of the Sophisticated Spark podcast. You can catch Sophisticated Spark on all major platforms. But collectively, we are the Parallel Legacies podcast. We got our email address, of course, info.parallelllegaciespodcast@gmail.com. We got two groups, and we got a group and then our business page on Facebook. Our group is the Parallel Legacies group. The page is Parallel Legacies Podcast. You can catch us all on Instagram. You can catch us all on all major platforms. I even got a TikTok, but we got to get a TikTok for the show, fellas. I know I'm gonna build one. I keep saying that, but I'm gonna build us a TikTok, and we gonna put some content up on TikTok, man. But anything else, man? I think this is a pretty good show.
Yeah.
For sure. But yo, fellas, thank y'all for y'all time, man. I love you, brothers, man. And as always, thanks for having my best interests at heart. And we out of here, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.